Okay, so today's video is kind of chill. I'm going to talk about writing letters, but I'm going to be making a postcard actually while I do it because I feel like this is actually more interesting than watching me just talk, which is like what 90% of the videos on this channel are at this point. I have this sheet here and I'm just going to go ahead and pick. I'll probably do like a miss you or a just for fun. Then I'm going to flip this over here and pick a topic. Yeah, what about adventure? I could maybe draw like a hot air balloon or something like that. That seems kind of ambitious, but I guess we'll try it. And before we get started, I just want to talk real quick about my supplies here. I like to have a brush with a rounded tip. I just feel like that's really good. I usually draw with my pen and then fill in with the watercolors. And so the rounded brush is really good. I have a really narrow brush here for those really finer details. And then I have this brush, which just does a really good job. Larger brush strokes, texture, backgrounds, things like that. And then I have this one that is just kind of if I need to fill in a lot of background. So I've got those. And then for my pens, I'm just using these Micron. I'm using these Micron pens in various sizes, just with the black ink. I love them. Okay, so let's go. Part of the reason that I am making these postcards / cards is, well, first of all, I'm trying to buy fewer things. And I have a lot of arts and crafts supplies. So I was sort of wishing for some new cards and stationery the other day. And I decided, you know what, instead of going out and buying more, which I could totally do, there's some very cute stationery stores in my city. For this time, I'm just going to go ahead and make my own. But really the main reason that I've been looking for postcards and cards is that one of my goals this year is that I want to connect more with other people. And I feel like everyone enjoys a little note in the mail, right? Like I remember being a kid and being really excited when I would get mail. And then now I'm at an age where like most of the stuff that comes from me is junk mail or bills. So when I get a letter from somebody that I care about, even if it's just a little card, it just makes my day. So I was like, okay, I want to be a little bit more intentional this year about sending people notes. It's a really low pressure way for me to like reach out. But also, you know, it gives me a creative outlet. It allows me as an introvert to kind of parse out my social energy a little bit better. And it's just fun. I love sending mail. So yeah, I mean, I feel like writing letters is a really good way to ease myself into this whole like connecting with people more so that I don't get as overwhelmed. Because I do feel like I get more overwhelmed than I'd like when I'm interacting with people. So letters or postcards or whatever are a great opportunity to do that. And then they can send me mail back or they can text me or, you know, talk about it the next time I see them or whatever. So there's just all these benefits. So if you are like, if there's somebody that you miss or if you're just trying to connect with people a little bit more, I do feel like sending this old-fashioned letter or even just a postcard is like, it's such a hack because it gives you the opportunity to connect with other people, but in a very like low pressure way, right? Like it's a way to just kind of pop in, remind them that you love them and you care about them, but it doesn't have to be like this big grand gesture if you're not sure how to go about that or if you're afraid you're going to be too busy or too drained or whatever. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily recommend making your own postcards if that idea doesn't appeal to you. But for me, it really, really does appeal to me. And I'm super excited to be making this today. I love drawing. I love, you know, getting my pens out and getting my paints out. It's just a really fun way for me to make something for someone else. And there's no pressure for them to keep it, right? Like, I love that about it too. All right, so how is this looking? Yeah, I feel like I might have messed up the balloon top a little bit, but it still looks kind of cute. So I'm gonna just keep filling in this basket here. So yeah, if you buy stationery or postcards and stamps or whatever, I'm going to put a link in the description just to good ideas for topics that you can write little notes about. I'm assuming you probably have it handled for like, Mother's Day and birthdays and like Christmas and like any sorts of like holiday related cards that you have, but just like sending a note, it can be a little bit intimidating. So I have some scripts that I've put together to help you just get started. But yeah, if you're interested in the like actual making your own postcards, let me just go through real quick what I did. First, I made a list of occasions. You saw that card earlier. It is birthdays, thinking of you, praying for you, congrats on your baby, because I feel like I never have enough baby shower cards. Weirdly enough, like I have way more wedding and wedding shower cards than I need, but not enough baby shower cards. Congrats on graduating, because that's always a thing in the spring. I have you aren't alone. I have just for fun. I have miss you. And then I also made a list with some like themes. So these are like art related themes. And so that would be hearts, because they can be used for Valentine's Day or just to say I love you. Food puns, because I love them. Adventure, which is like maps, planes, hot air balloons, etc. Quotes, florals. I reminded myself that I needed some gender neutral ones, mostly because I feel like sometimes I tend to go a little bit girly with my cards. And then, if I want to send something to my dad, or I want to send something to my husband, or maybe my husband wants to send something and he's like, hey, what do you have? Or maybe I'm sending something from both of us. It's like, maybe don't send like the super pink and floral stuff. I also added mountains just because I love them, and tea for the same reason. These lists are sort of my cheat sheet so that I know, first of all, what I need, and second of all, what I'm going to be motivated to use when the time comes to make these notes. I think another way that you could go about doing this is that you could think through the people that you normally get, for example, birthday cards for, and buy or make cards for all of those people. You could think about the people that you want to write to and the sorts of things that they would enjoy and make something specifically for them. But, I feel like I can always switch to that when it's time to write a note if I just feel like nothing that I've made really resonates. But I wanted to go ahead and get a little bit ahead on making these, because sometimes I don't have time to both make the card and write the card. And so if I have some things in reserve, the chances of me actually writing the note when I think about it and I'm inspired to do it and getting it sent are a lot greater. And then I cut a bunch of pieces of watercolor paper to a standard postcard size, which is 4 inches by 6 inches, and drew a line 2 inches from the right side on the back. And then I just kind of went at it. I think when I get stuck, I'll probably look for ideas on Pinterest too. That's just like a wealth of information. I have a little board on there with like Happy Mail. I have a bunch of like art inspiration. But so far, this list is doing pretty well for me. So you may be wondering like why we're even like talking about this on Worthy Hours, because a lot of the stuff on here is related to time management or how we think about our time. And so for me, I think that connecting with other people is one of the best ways that we can spend our time. And as an introvert and somebody who struggles with anxiety and social anxiety, that is really hard for me sometimes. I'm not saying like I don't have friends or that my friends are not wonderful, because they are, but there are a lot of days where it is so much easier to just stay home or just do my own thing. And so writing letters is a way that I can gently take care of myself in terms of like I am living up to my own goals and aspirations for like being somebody that is a good friend to people and is there for them. But at the same time, I am gently easing myself in to reaching out. I also personally, I have a lot of friendships, loved ones who do live a long ways away from me. And I think that's pretty normal for most of us these days. So being able to send something like handmade that I have touched and, sending it to a friend, they can touch it, It's just like, it's a tangible thing that shows that I care. And also, I am a writer professionally. That's what I do for work. But I also just really enjoy that like deeper connection that writing sometimes lets you have, because you're able to cut past a lot of the small talk if you want to, and talk about the things that matter to you or ask questions. So yeah, I mean, like, writing letters may not be the way that you want to spend your time. But I did want to put it forward as an option, because anything that we can do to live life with other people, to form those connections, to be vulnerable, to go deeper in our relationships is time well spent. Loving other people makes our life rich. And so that's really one of the things that I'm trying to focus on this year. And this was something that I realized the other day when I was writing a letter, like, it's really going to help. I've written letters for years and years and years, and I'm like, I think instead of, going, okay, I'm growing up and moving on, I actually need to do more of that. So, okay, that's it. That's the video. Let me fast forward this thing up and you can see how it turned out.